Welcome to a new episode of Nobby on Cars, and this is the Kia Niro. If you're wondering what the problem in the title of the video refers to, well, it's just so hard to get one. So let's take a look at this all-electric car from Kia. I wouldn't call them an underdog, especially that's kind of a sensitive word in that part of the world. Dog part anyway. They're not banging on about the fact that they've got electric vehicles ready to go like this, the Kia Niro and the e-Soul, which you can check the review for if you pop up there. Wait till the end though. But by 2025 they're going to have 11 electric vehicles ready to go, and this year, for example, the Sorento PHEV will be a thing as well. So they're really kind of just doing it, they're just getting on with it. This one is €37,000 after grants. It's a lot. It's a 64 kilowatt hour battery, which will get you well over 400 kilometers, like 450 real world terms. No mess and no turn on your wipers and it drops by 100 kilometers. That's not how electric cars work. Somebody asked me that during the week. Yeah, but like you turn on your heating and the thing just dies. That's not true. Let's have a look around at this. It's got a 7-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty, including the battery obviously, and it's got loads of space, and it's like a hatchback, kind of an SUV crossover, kind of, in terms of height. Let's take a little poke around the boot anyway. First of all, there's some clever stuff around here. And hit subscribe and the notification, the bell button thing. Go to the Nobby on Cars YouTube channel. Go hit subscribe if you haven't done so, and pop that little notification button on, so next time there's a new video to be done, you'll get to see it just as soon as it goes live. Kia have done something clever with this boot, because parcel shelf that belongs up there, obviously press it in to release it, but underneath here there's little, they clip in, stop stuff falling down the side. But if you need to, you can take them out, you chuck that in, you squeeze both ends as you would if you were trying to fit it into the actual car, and your boot parcel shelf can fit under there. Very few cars do that. The boot capacity is 451 litres, with the batteries taking residency under the floor instead of occupying boot space. Fold the 60/40 rear seats down and you'll increase that to 1,405 litres. That's good. You wouldn't really know you're dealing with an electric car apart from the little blue turquoise strips here. I'm doing good for the planet. There's no grille because there's no engine, and under here is where you'll charge your car when you need to do it. And thanks to the lads at Darkin EVs who've hooked me up with a charger at home, which takes the total fear out of range gone, but this car isn't really going to do it for you anyway, with a range well over 400 kilometers. Back of the Niro, it's good. It's got a decent flat floor, which means there's no kind of fighting over foot space for rear passengers. Yet again, Kia, there's nowhere to charge. There's nothing in the back of your cars to charge tablets and phones. Why? You have an armrest, cups, no access to the boot through it. But does anybody actually use that? I wonder. Cargo nets here for keeping things secure. Maybe your cables, because they'll be redundant. And for 2 child seats, there's not a huge amount of room in the centre if you need a third person in, with child seats either side. This colour kind of is grey, brightens it up a bit. Like, you can't argue with that. There's room for your feet under the seats, and there's loads of head height too. Nothing major to report here that's bad. So the little sill here isn't protected from the weather at all. That means big dirty mucky sill here is going to get in the back of your clothes if it's a thing. Something to bear in mind. We're going to go for a spin very soon. Let's take a look around the front first of all, where they've done some clever stuff. They're into space in Kias, there ain't no doubt. Like clever stuff, like little wraparound things for your bottles. So you put that in, you press a button, and it just holds the drinks into place. Tons of storage space in here, and that's not all. It's a little bit tricky to get out. Under here you've more space. There's some charging options, USB under there, and more room to just stick stuff. There's a nice big load space down here.
You have wireless charging if your phone is compatible. You just drop it in there and away it charges. More USB, a lightning one for the CarPlay, and a 12 volt up the front. Kia are very good like that. In fact, they're so good at the front, it doesn't make sense that they're not so good at the back.
One other drawback in the eNiro is the fact that the heat pump that will heat the interior cabin is an optional extra.
As I'm accelerating and I'm still turning, the wheels are like this and the car is struggling for grip, and in fact the tyres are, I wouldn't call it skidding, but there's so much torque going through the front wheels of this just over 200 brake horsepower electric vehicle that there are times when you're turning at lower speeds, turning at speeds that you'd be able to go around a corner rather, or change direction at a junction, whatever like that, where you might not need to fully slow down. The car can struggle for grip, and even in a straight line at lower speeds, getting away from lights and stuff, you can just feel the tyres trying to do their job. Now this car has 6,000 kilometers on it, so it's not even like the car has had a lot of wear on the treads of the tyres. But the more you use that power, which electric vehicles have, the more you're going to ease into the treads of the tyres. But I don't think that's the issue. I think as you can hear the beeping, this car likes to beep. It likes to warn you that you're either going to hit into something if you don't brake, or you're braking the lanes and you're changing lanes. Are you sure you want to do that? You haven't indicated. So it's got lots of technology built on board that will just kind of do stuff in the background you don't have to think about. But yeah, that kind of grip that you're struggling for, just because it has a lot of power, can be a little bit, whoa, what's going on here? And a little bit of torque steer then combined with that. Your EV button here, which is on your climate display, does things like set up the car for timed charging, which is really clever. You can tell it to come on at off-peak hours, even though you have your car connected. It won't start charging, and you've told it, hey, charge at 1 o'clock in the morning when it's cheaper, and it will do that for you. And you can time it for weekdays, weekends, individual days, whatever you want. And it means as soon as you plug that cable in, you just shut your front door and you're not going to worry about it. I do find electric cars, they are quite enjoyable and relaxing. They're just a little bit more relaxing than internal combustion engine cars to drive. Why? I have no idea. Noises maybe, I don't know. So pop it into sport mode, and you only really feel the effects of it if you're accelerating. Like if you're just keeping a constant speed, it's not very obvious that you're in sport mode, because there's no, in a normal car the gears will be going, come on, I'm ready to power. This is just, woo! And actually, I hope you can hear that. As I floored it at like 70 kilometers an hour, the tires even then, it is a bit wet, are just struggling for a bit of grip. Like an e-pedal in a Nissan Leaf, this has paddles where you would have gear changes in a normal car. Obviously there's no gears in an electric car, so this makes the regenerative braking more harsh, this less so, and you can basically put some charge back into the car going down hills and when you're slowing down and coasting to a stop. You've got your reverse, neutral and drive selector, again no gears, and this car comes very well spec'd here in Ireland. Heated seats, front passengers and driver. You get a heated steering wheel. Really, really nice. The glove box, like so many cars these days, is pretty much useless. You'll get this massive, again another electric car, saving the trees and the planet, but look at the amount of paper using that. It's huge. Put them in the screens. And yeah, once you have stuff in there, you're not really going to have any room for anything else. The seats are comfortable. You can get electric ones, but this one is manual. It doesn't get air-cooled seats, although it has heated ones. I wonder why that is. There is Eco, of course, as well, and Eco Plus. 4 driving modes. Normal is generally fine. Because of the batteries, because of the weight, because of what they have to do with the suspension, and make it just a little bit firmer to kind of counter the weight of the batteries bobbing around the car, that is, not the batteries obviously. It's okay on bends at higher speed, but you wouldn't be like flying around corners. This car likes to beep and bong. You get the Kia jingle when you start it up. It's now ready to start driving. Your display is quite simple to use. In fact, it's the same as any other Kia that is currently on sale today. Media, radio, maps, nav. Everything is quite easy to use. It's not the fanciest looking thing. You have to confirm this message every time you start it. And it's not the biggest screen in the world. It is a little bit small compared to what you might find on the market today. But it is touchscreen, and it's quick. Yeah, there's no real sort of lag in it. Overall, simple to drive, very easy in city traffic environments, really nippy to kind of change lanes, dart around things. I know a lot of people watching this review may not have even ever driven an electric vehicle. You should go for a test drive. Go to a Kia dealer and say, hey, can I just try one? I'm just interested. I'm sure they'll oblige. Maybe not, the really early start of 2020 where they're busy. But if you are actually serious about buying, yeah, go and see what they're like, because they're very, very relaxing, comfortable, simple to drive. Steering is pretty light, but you still have a good sense of where you're pointing the car also, so it's not bad. That range really is key. Kia. That's a good range. You can't argue with it, especially when you have the home charger, which now I have. It really just, you don't even think about it, and it's not a car you're charging every day anyway. You're gonna maybe charge it. I'd be charging once a week. There's those crippy tires again. It's just 'cause it's too powerful. Imagine that. Electric car, too powerful. As in, tons of power. Head stuck to seat. To get that same effect from a petrol car, you would be spending double the price, double the power. Thanks for watching. See you soon.